Hello, Superior YMCA. It's me, Jill, and I'm here with Ashley, and we're just going to do a short little video today about a little bit instructional kind of video, not a workout video, about some shoulder exercises. We have a wide variety of equipment that we're going to use and show you how to use properly. We're going to use resistance bands, our mini bands, and bigger resistance bands, free weights and no weights. So if you have bands, resistance bands, anything, this kind of will help you figure out what you can do at home. I'll take it first. We got some mini bands coming. These are what little mini bands would look like. This is an extra light, so it's got a lot of give, and you can work your way up to, let's find my extra heavy. There's not much. But we'll get started with some mini bands. Feel free to correct me, Ashley. It's hard to do it with out looking in a mirror.
I'm using light for these. I feel like,
yeah.
You
So I am starting out with an extra light. And up first we have a single arm pull down. So you're just gonna wrap your band around your hands. Ooh. Bring it overhead. I guess I'm gonna kneel so they can see my hand. So you bring it overhead, and if you want to, you can clasp it with that left hand, and you're just gonna pull that right arm down. Keep those shoulders down and back. Single arm, you can switch to that left side. Make sure to keep that right arm or whatever arm is up nice and tight. You don't want it coming down with you.
That's the hardest part.
Right? I know, that's why I started with the extra light. I'm like, I know I'll be able to keep it up there. So that is our single arm pull down. Up next, we have a pull apart. So pull apart, I bring it right around my wrists. My watch tends to get in my way. I bring it straight out in front, palms facing each other, and you just want to pull those hands apart. Ashley has a nice side view. Those shoulders down and back. And obviously you can bump up the resistance bands. This is very easy for me with the extra light, but this is just an instructional video. Up next, we have a double arm pull down. So instead of just pulling one at a time, you're gonna bring both those arms up. We're gonna start with a wide pull down. So bring those arms out wide. Bring hands to about shoulder height and back up. Pull it down, keep those shoulders down and back. That is our wide pull down. And for myself, I have to bring it to a little thicker resistance for that narrow. And bring them arms up. Face those palms toward each other and pull it down. Narrow pull down. Kind of keep those elbows facing forward. Don't come out to the side all weird and wonky. Pull it down. That is our wide and narrow pull down. And lastly, we have we'll be in our plank position. I'll readjust. And what you'll want to do is wrap those resistance bands around your hands. Then we're going to be bringing our hands forward, side, and back. And feel free to come up into that plank position. Or if you need to, be on those knees. And you can pull it up, back to the middle, pull it to the side, back to the middle, and down, back to the middle. That is one rep. And trust me, it is a killer on those shoulders. So you bring it up, middle, side, middle, and down, middle. You want those shoulders stacked over those wrists. And that is kind of our little brief overview of some of our mini band exercises.
You didn't want to keep doing that one for a minute?
Oh no. This is just an instructional video.
Short and sweet.
I don't plan to break a sweat.
As you can see, as we're wearing long sleeve and short sleeve, and we never do that, right?
Nope, hairs down, like what?
All right, so for this next set, we're gonna grab some type of resistance band. So basically all I have at home for myself is a therapy band that is from my ankle surgeries in high school, which, you know, guess it's useful for something. Or if you have like tubing that has like handles on it, then Jill's gonna show us with just some free weights. I know most of you probably have those at home, so just know that all these 4 exercises we're going to go through for the resistance band, there's another option to also use those free weights. So the first thing we're going to start with is squat with an overhead press. So depending on what kind of bands you have or how thick they are, you can do it with one or both arms / legs. So my band is not super great. Oh, I just snapped part of it. So that's not going to work. Your blooper for the day. I didn't know I could snap that. Wow. So I'm going to show you with one. But if you do have one of the ones with handles, you can surely do both at the same time. Otherwise, for me, I'm just going to put it under one foot, and we'll try not to break it this time. We're going to do one arm at a time. So you're going to start with that squat, bringing it nice and low, and then extend overhead, and then squat back down. So you can also change that resistance if you put your foot more to the end of your band, if you're doing one side at a time. And that makes your band a little bit longer and allows you to get a little bit bigger range of motion. Good. So you're thinking about the top of the shoulder on this guy, and then you want to make sure that that wrist stays nice and straight, especially too if you have a free weight like Jill. You don't want to have that wrist cranking back and forth. And we'll just show you the other side real quick to back it out. Like I said, if you have an actual, my goodness gracious, an actual band that you can do both arms with. Just don't hurt yourself, guys. Be safe. Squat and press. Good. And then you also want to think about your breathing with these exercises, right?
Yes.
So exhaling as we go up, inhaling as we recover on the way down. And then also just think about that elbow, about 90 degrees in line with your shoulder as you come down. So you're not bringing it all the way to your side. You're not leaving it up here, coming right to 90. All right, I'm trying not to snap myself this time. Oh, all right, we're doing a front raise with a lateral raise. So I'm gonna come back to that left side. Again, you have that option to do your band with your handles. So we're just gonna do one side at a time. Because I don't have a handle on mine, I'm gonna keep my thumb up just so it's a little bit easier to hold my band and hopefully not hurt myself. But Jill, you can keep your palm down just to show that variation. So we're starting on that left side, pull that belly button in, and I want you to lift in front of you just till you're at shoulder height. You should feel that on the top of your shoulder. Slowly come down, nice side view there, and then you're gonna come out to the side. Again, just to shoulder height. So 2 options for that hand position. We'll come forward again. You can have that thumb up, or like Jill, you can have that palm facing down. Also kind of depends on your, level of comfort with what equipment you're using. Like I said, for me, it's a little more awkward to have that palm facing down. And I also don't want to snap myself again. Go to that other side. So stepping on that band with your right foot. You're coming forward, straight out in front. We always want to have a soft bend in our elbow when we're doing these. You never want to feel like it's locking all the way out. Just in case you were to, lose grip of that weight or do a funky range of motion, you just want to protect that elbow joint. And again, you'll notice too if you need heavier or lighter bands. Good. We'll do one more. You might start to feel it in your rear delt a little bit too as you go out to the side. All right, then we're gonna move to an upright row. So for this one, if you have a band, you're gonna just put one foot on the center, and then you're gonna cross your handles or cross your band, so you're making an X. Make sure you have nice soft knees. And then for this one, we're gonna pull the elbows first. I know with this exercise, a lot of times people like to lift with their wrists or with their hands. So really try to relax your wrists and think about lifting from your elbows. So you're gonna keep those palms facing your thigh. And then as you exhale, you're gonna pull those elbows to shoulder height and back down. So again, we're thinking about the tops of the shoulders. Exhale as you pull, lift from the elbows. So those hands should come to about chest level, and then those elbows are about shoulder height. Good. Another thing with this one to pay attention to is a lot of times we like to lift from our traps, right? We like to shrug our shoulders because we're cold up here in northern Wisconsin and in northern Minnesota. So we want to really think about rolling those shoulders down and back. And then as you lift, again, it's more from your elbow. It's not like you're lifting your shoulder to your ear, right? All right, and then we have one more before I hurt myself with this resistance band. We're gonna focus on some external rotation. So if you have a band, you can wrap it around your right hand, and then for Jill, you can just have one weight in that left hand. And you're gonna start 90 degrees at that elbow. You can start internally rotate a little bit so that that arm is more in front of your belly button, and then we're gonna rotate it out to the side. So you're just rotating out, slowly come back towards your belly button, and then squeeze. You want to keep that elbow at 90 degrees. And this is more for your rotator cuff muscles that are on the back side of your shoulder, right? So less about your rhomboids and in between those shoulder blades. It's just right along that back side of your shoulder. So that elbow has to stay nice and close to your body, and squeeze. Good, and then we'll just do the other side for a good measure. So wrap it around that left hand. And then palm is up, or it can be facing in. Again, also kind of depends on what type of resistance that you're using. Small little muscles here. Super important though, especially for a lot of the other supportive shoulder work that we do, or even planks. If you're a fan of basketball, baseball, all those sports where you're using your shoulders quite a bit. Want to make sure that these stabilizing muscles are very strong. Good. All right. I'm going to throw it back over to Jill, who hopefully won't hurt herself like I did. But
I'll just stick with my 3 pounds.
I'll add 10. This is going to be rough.
All right, we have some free weight exercises. So just like our resistant band or our mini band, we have a wide, narrow shoulder press. So for our wide, you're gonna bring those arms up 90 degrees at those elbows. Your wrists should be stacked over your elbows. You don't want them flopping forward or back or whichever way. And then as you exhale, bring those arms up, kind of tap those weights and bring it back down to 90. Bring it up and back down to 90. Keep that wrist over your elbow. Nice 90. Nice exhale as you push up. And we'll do one more. Bring it back down. And next we have the narrow. So you'll bring the narrow up close to your face. You don't want to tuck those elbows in. You want to keep them away from your body. And exhale as you push those arms up. Bring it back down. Bring those weights right about to shoulder height. You don't want them resting on your shoulders though.
Cheaters.
Just exhale as you push. And we'll do one more. And back down. Up next, we have a pec deck. So you're gonna bring those arms up to 90 right out in front, wrists over your elbows, and you'll just rotate it out until your shoulders or your elbows are in line with your shoulders, and you'll bring it back.
Whew, I'm sweating, Jill.
I know, I was just gonna say, I think I'm breaking a sweat. Keep those arms up. You don't want them sinking down. Nice 90. And we'll do it one more time. Good. That is our pec deck. Next up, we have a lat raise with a rotation. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is what it is. You'll bring your arms out to 90. Those elbows are close to your sides, but you don't want to tuck them in. And you're going to raise those arms up till your elbows are in line with your shoulders. And then you're going to rotate up, back down, and then bring back down to your side. Up, rotate, and down. We'll do one more. And back down. That is a little lat raise with a rotation. And this last one is circular shoulders. So I've struggled with this one on my right side. My right shoulder's a little weak. So for this one, you want your palms forward. And you're just going to bring that arm all the way up. Nice soft bend in that elbow. And bring it back down. Try to keep that shoulder down and back. You don't want it raising up. Bring it up and back down. We'll switch it over to that right side. Palm forward. Bring it up and back down. Soft bend in that elbow. One more time. And back down. And that is everything we've got for our free weights. We'll bring it to Ashley. We're going to work with no weights.
And if it were me, I'd probably do that one without weights a few times too.
Oh yeah.
10 pounds, right? All right, so pretty much all days we're coming down to the mat. We're gonna start with some push-ups. So a lot of different variations on push-ups. What we're gonna focus on today though is more of that plank type of position and then down. So not like triceps, not narrow, not wide, just about the distance between your shoulders. So making sure that we're stacking wrist right underneath that shoulder. I know a lot of times we want to sink back because we want to take pressure off those shoulders, but to really work them, we want to make sure that we're on top. So you can be on your toes, your knees. I'll show tabletop too, just because my belly hits the floor fast there. But what you want to think about, no matter what position you're in, is really to lock in that core, right? Because if we're having our butt way back here, notice how my shoulders are now not over my wrists. Okay, so make sure that you drop those hips. If you're on your knees or in that plank position, your core should be nice and tight. As you come down, I want you to look at the top of your mat, come to your about 90 degrees at your elbows, and then exhale, press back up. Do a couple more of those. So really paying attention to where your shoulders are in relation to your wrists, and then keeping that belly button in. Now, if you need a little less pressure, you can walk those knees in so you're in more of a tabletop. You can still work the shoulders just as well. Again, just make sure we're not sinking back. We're staying over top of the wrist. So same thing, you're going to lower that chest down and exhale, push up. It's a lot less pressure on your core, but again, you're still working through your shoulders and your chest as well. Another couple of options would be to come up on your table or do them against the wall, but same principles apply, right? Shoulder over that wrist, and really focus on staying controlled through that core and then coming to 90 degrees. All right, so we're gonna move on to reverse tabletops. We're gonna flip on over. So this is like your crab position. If you ever did crab walks as like a kid or crab kids, and you make them walk around like a crab. So from this position, make sure that your hands are facing towards your hips and that your feet are right underneath your knees. We're gonna push up and lift our hips. So we're in that reverse tabletop position. So this in and of itself, you know, you can just hold this for a while. You know?
Yeah.
Your shoulders. But we're gonna have a little bit of movement to it. So we're gonna alternate opposite hand to foot. So we're toe touching, right to left, left to right. So again, take this at your pace. Notice that your shoulders are still, like in those push-ups, right over the wrists. And don't lock your wrists out completely or your elbows. Soft bend. The higher you lift your booty, the more difficult it's going to be. The lower that booty is, a little easier. If it does hurt your wrists, you can always come onto those knuckles, or if it helps, it's kind of a little bit awkward, but you could grab your free weights and push up here. For those of you that flexion really bothers your wrists. All right, since we just love planks, we're gonna do some side planks. So instead of holding it for the amount of time, we're gonna focus on, again, the shoulders, right? So two options for you. You can be on the hand, having that shoulder again stacked over the wrist, or you can be down on your forearm. So we'll show you both here. We'll start on our hand. Hand can face forward or out to the top of your mat, whatever you're more comfortable with. And then options for feet. So highest intensity would be to stack the feet. A little bit less, cross that top foot over. And a little less is to bend that bottom knee. All right? So we'll start, most difficult would be here. And then we're going to transition. Rotate forward to a plank. And then come onto the other side. Rotate back to a plank. Again, paying attention to that shoulder and wrist. Other option, cross the feet over, still come back to your plank, and then switch the hips. Keep the feet crossed so you have more support. And then that other option, knee down. Still come forward to that plank. You can be on your knees. Rotate to the other side. Come back to your plank on your knees. Rotate. So remember, even though we want to keep our core engaged, our main focus with that transition is on those shoulders. And then again, you can also do it on your forearm. So lifting up, then bring that other forearm down. Might feel a little awkward at first. And lift. Forearm down. Rotate. Again, same thing. You can make it a little bit easier. Cross the feet at the ankles, or drop that bottom knee completely. Turn over to the knees and switch. If you're going to be on your knees, we do not recommend the hardwood floor, right, Jill? It's not comfortable. Nope. All right. We got one last one for you. Super excited. More push-ups.
Oh.
But we are coming up into a downward dog position. So this is one where we're actually going to keep the shoulders a little bit further back from the wrist to start. So you're going to pop up on those toes. Hips are super high to the sky, right? So you're making that triangle pose. Now you're going to come forward, spread those hands out just a little bit so they're more on the sides of your mat. And then you're going to come up onto your tiptoes. And then you're going to bend your elbows and drop your head, trying to touch the top of your head down to the mat. So it's a lot more shoulders, a lot less chest than your normal push-ups. If you want more intensity, you're going to walk your feet a little further forward. I can't walk mine that much farther forward. My belly gets in the way. And still stay on your toes. That's going to put more weight into that upper body, into those shoulders. So again, keeping your head down, inhale down, exhale, push up. Woo, do one more. Woo. Exhale, release. Nice job. All right. Well, I think that's all we got here for shoulder exercises. I know Jill and I worked up a little bit of a sweat here. So, just some options for you guys at home. As we know, we're all trying to kind of navigate this new normal of, what it looks like to be at home a little bit more often, not be able to get into the gym, maybe utilizing some different equipment that we have at home that we wouldn't normally use. So hopefully this is informative for you guys, gives you a few ideas for what to try at home. Let us know in the comments whether you tried any of these, if you have questions, if there's other exercises for shoulders that you'd like us to go over, if you're maybe not really sure, you've seen it, done at the gym or seen it online and you're not really sure how to do it safely. Feel free to put those in the comments below. So like, comment, share, subscribe as always, and you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We hope to see you guys in person very soon. Stay safe and healthy, and we'll see you at the next video. Bye.
Bye.